All right, friends, we are going to do lesson 9.1 today. And something I want to show you for this lesson is on equal shares. And we're just going to jump right in today with our lesson. So these are posters I would show you if we were in the classroom. They're in my math journal or my manual right now. For two equal shares, if you name one of the shares, just one, see how it's divided into two. If you name just one of them, could be any of these names. Half, one half with the number one out of two parts. When you're naming all the shares, it would be two halves with the number two out of two parts, or one whole. And so for this one, they show you two different ways to divide this square, diagonal and then going straight across. Okay, it's the same kind of deal with 4 equal shares and 3 equal shares. So here it is for 4, and they show you 3 different ways to divide them, and different names you could do to have when you're talking about just one share. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. You could think of it as actual quarters, like coins. 1/4 is 1/4 of a dollar. Okay, so it's similar that way. If you're talking about all the shares, 4 quarters in a dollar, 4 quarters or 4 out of 4 in the whole thing, okay? 4/4. So lots of different ways to show it there. With 1/3, it's there's not quite as many ways to divide into 3 equal shares, but we would have 1/3, 1/3, or 1 out of 3. And when we name all the parts, it would be 3/3 with the number 3 out of 3, or 1 whole. And you'll notice the name 1 whole works for all of them, because that's meaning that, we're talking about the whole thing, okay? All right, so now we're gonna go in our math journal. You do want a template handy, because we will be working with, we will be needing a straight edge today. Let me show you what I mean. So when I'm working on mine here, you'll notice, and I got bumped when I was doing this one, so my line's a little squiggled, but you would want to divide these rectangles 2 different ways, okay? I like doing the diagonals because I feel like it gets a little more equal when we do it that way, but you can do it going straight across too, as long as you try your best to get it equal, okay? So just one of those parts, well, if we're talking about two shares here, just one of those shares is going to be what? What were some of the names we talked about? Think about that. Okay. You might have thought up maybe half. That would work. Okay. You could go with any of these names up here. Half, 1/2, 1/2, 1 out of 2. So check your work. Okay. For all of the parts, write a name for all of the parts together. Well, one that would work for all is whole. Okay, check your work. You could have done any of these right here to name all of the shares. All right, down here, divide each rectangle into 3 equal parts. Show 2 different ways. All right, well, let me go back to the poster to show you how they did the square. A little different with the rectangle and a square, but here's how they did the square. I think we could do something similar with the rectangle. Might be just a little bit different. Let's see if I can get my mount to work here. All right. There we go. So dividing these into equal shares. Oh gosh, I might even want to try to measure it and see if I could get it equal. Let's see here. How many centimeters do we have? We only have 5. How many inches? inches do we have? 2, so you can kind of eyeball it and get it the best you can here. Kind of eyeball it the best you can. Say it's about, I'm going to use my pencil so I can erase if I need to. Maybe about right here and right here. That's pretty equal. And then I'm going to draw my lines. Okay. All right. It's fairly equal. Then right here, I might go here and here. I might bring this one. I might bring them both up a little bit. Okay. I think that's about as equal as I can get them. Okay. So just do the best you can. So write a name for one part. Well, again, if we look back over here, any of these names for one part would work. Okay. 1/3 or 1 out of 3. Then when we name all the parts, any of these would work. So which name are you gonna choose? Which name are you gonna choose? The one part. That's the one I chose. And then for all of them, maybe I think this time I'm gonna say 3 out of 3 parts. It's okay. You kind of have to write off to the side. Pick one rectangle from problem number 2. How could you show that the parts are equal? What do you think? How could you show that the parts are equal? Could you measure? What do you think you could do? Maybe if you had a rectangle that was like an actual piece of paper, you could fold it, and sometimes those folds can turn out to be equal parts. That could be easier to do. You could cut the rectangle into 3 parts and put them in a pile, and hopefully they would be about the same size. So there are a few different things you could do. I think I'm gonna say, I would measure the parts. You write down what you would do. All right. Let's take a look here. I'm going to kind of move things around so I can move my camera for you. Okay, looking at the next one. Divide this rectangle into 4 equal parts. Let's see if I can set this down so you can see me do that. Okay, 4 equal parts. Okay, so again, I think I'm going to use my pencil this time in case I want to erase. Could measure it out. This one's coming out to 5 centimeters again. About 2 inches. Well, I could easily divide 2 inches into 4 parts. So here's the 1 inch mark. And then I could find my 1/2 inch marks. That makes it easy. Oops. My camera's falling over. There we go. All right. I'll show you what it looks like here once I'm done. Okay, there are my 4 equal parts. What's a name for one of those parts? Do you remember from the poster? Did you think if we're doing one of the 4 parts, you could say 1 out of 4 parts? You could also say 1/4. Most of the time I say 1/4. I'm just showing different ways that you could do it right now. And then when we talk about all of the parts, again, one of my favorites when we talk about all of them is 1 whole. I've just kind of gotten used to doing that. Okay, for this one, Ruthie divided the rectangle into 3 parts. She named one of the parts 1/3. Do you agree with Ruthie? Look at these. This one right here is a little bit bigger than these 2. Do you agree with Ruthie? I think I'm gonna have to say, no, I don't agree. I hope you said no too, because this one part here, it's a little bit bigger. So these ones are the same size, but that one's bigger, so are they equal? No, so I'm gonna say in complete sentences, I'm gonna say 2 parts are the same size, comma, but 1 part is bigger, period. They aren't equal, period. They aren't equal. All right. Further try this. Dun, dun, dun. You've got to divide the circle into 4 equal parts. Give it a try. What are you going to do? I'm going to give you a clue. Don't try to do lines across like this. I see kids do that all the time. Are each of these parts equal? No, they're not. I hope you're using pencil. What if we go this way? Oh, same problem. They're not equal. We have to do equal parts. Equal. This is where if we were in the classroom, some of you would be jumping up out of your seats trying to share the answer. That'd be so exciting. Okay, friends, are you ready to see? I'm going to try to do this as best I can. You would want to do 1 line straight down the middle here. 1 line going right across. Make them as even, as equal as you can, okay? To get equal parts, kind of like a pizza. Pizza. All right, those were your journal pages. Next up are your math boxes, which you are going to do on your own, and then I will have a home link quiz for you. All right, good luck.